I have an interesting relationship with the Soulsborne games. I love the art direction and all the designs of everything for those games, but it took me a while to actually get into them. I mean, even today, I still wouldn't really call myself a fan of those games. I like a couple, but like the overall gameplay of them, I'm just not really into. So I've tried playing Bloodborne and Dark Souls 1, and the gameplay just didn't click with me. It wasn't until after Elden Ring came out and I saw gameplay of it, I was like, man, that looks so fun. But I didn't want to jump right into that game, so I started up Bloodborne again. This time I went in with a slightly different mindset, and the next thing I knew I was in love with the game. Finally I understood why people enjoyed these games so much. So after beating Bloodborne, I decided to give Dark Souls another chance. I didn't love Dark Souls 1, thought there were too many bullshit areas, but I beat it eventually. Then after that I played 2, then it was time for 3. And boy did I like Dark Souls 3. The boss fights, the combat, the environments. Bloodborne is still my favorite, but Dark Souls 3 is a close second. So after playing all those, I was so excited to try Elden Ring, and I was pretty let down. Before I get into it, I am clearly in the minority with this opinion. Almost everyone seems to be enjoying the hell out of this game, and that's great. I'm just here to give my perspective. I'm not trying to persuade you to think anything, I just thought it'd be interesting to get my thoughts out there. I'll just quickly say Elden Ring is just kind of Dark Souls 4. There isn't a whole lot of different mechanics to set it apart like Bloodborne or Sekiro, and the aesthetic is mostly the same, but my biggest problem I had with this game was, unfortunately, the open world. I really like the idea of an open world Souls-style game. Imagine this big playground where you can test out unique builds or weapon combos, explore all these unique places, and fight over 100 different bosses. But that's what this is, right? So why am I not having fun? Well, that's a good question. There is so many build options, places, and bosses. There's so much to do in this game, so why am I not getting into it? Well, I think that's the problem. So many. With all the stuff to do in the game and the very little handholding, it just felt a bit scrambled for me. With the other games, you sort of have a main path with branching off side areas you can do, but here, it sort of looks like this. You see the difference? I don't know, I guess I just had a problem with like the structure. I just didn't like how it's set up. It sort of throws you into the world and vaguely tells you where to go. The problem I have with that is if you want to just go through the story path, you're going to get your ass kicked. It sort of forces you to explore so you aren't so underleveled, which is fine, but with how big this world is for this type of game, I had a difficult time exploring. I found I was either in an area that was too high of level, or an area where I could wreck everything and not get enough runes. And another thing, this game has so many bosses, but most of them are just repeats or special normal enemies. Whereas in a game like Bloodborne, which has 17 normal bosses, it makes them feel more memorable and stick with you, at least for me. Elden Ring does have some really entertaining bosses, but 109 bosses is a little much. I don't know, is it just me? I wish this game trimmed off the fat and just had a focused path with a few memorable bosses, but then I guess I'd just have Dark Souls 3 again. So does that mean Dark Souls 3 was maybe the perfect formula and Elden Ring just kind of overdid it a little bit? Maybe? I wish I could get into this game, I really do, but unfortunately I find myself just wanting to play Bloodborne again. Maybe my opinion will change if I get deeper into the game, but for now, this is where I stand. It just kind of feels like every game needs to be open world nowadays. Remember the Halo Infinite campaign? Yeah, me neither. Don't get me wrong, there's some games that use their open world to their advantage, but other games just kind of lose a lot when you make it open world. Like, this is kind of getting away from Elden Ring, but sometimes I do just want to play through a game beginning to end. I don't need an open world with a bunch of collectibles and bosses to fight. When I played Guardians of the Galaxy, it was just so refreshing to play a game from beginning to end. There's no open world, no side quests, no collectibles. You can just play the story that the developers intended you to experience. Like in Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, when you encounter a boss, it's super cinematic and builds up this tension for this fight. Like, you know it's about to go down when it starts. And then in Elden Ring, I'm just walking across this wasteland and I encounter something with a health bar and I'm like, ugh, another boss? Alright, here we go. But the combat in Elden Ring, it's pretty fun. I mean, there's so much you can do with it. Like, so much. There's a lot of random little abilities and weapons you can use. But man, does walking around the world just feel really boring to me, and it doesn't give me motivation to play around with all the mechanics and tools it gives me. And is it just me, or are crafting materials so hard to find in this massive world? I mean, like, I keep having to look up where to find these certain materials so I can upgrade my weapons, so I can stay level with the enemies. And I'm sorry, I know it sounds like I'm ranting, but I did write a script for only half this video, and now I'm off script, so forgive me. Another thing, these Souls games have these like NPC quest lines you can do. In past Souls games, you can kind of follow the quest lines on your own because it's kind of a direct path from beginning to end. But in this one, the world is again so big and there's no quest markers that it's gonna be a hard time trying to find the NPCs out there. I know I'm pretty bad at the games, but I don't know how you're supposed to do some of this stuff without looking it up. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try playing it again, or maybe I'll just go back to Bloodborne. It's just too much for me. Again, this is my opinion of the game. I'm not trying to convince you to go out there and say Elden Ring is a bad game, because I think it's gonna win Game of the Year. And I won't be mad if it does. I don't care. And please don't walk away from this video angry. I want to be where you are if you like this game. I want to enjoy this game. I spent $60 on it. I was really excited after playing Dark Souls 3. I was so looking forward to this game, and I wanted to like it so bad, but I just couldn't. And that's heartbreaking. Okay, it felt good to get my thoughts out there on this, but I've gone on for way too long. Thank you for listening to my thoughts on Elden Ring. And hey, if you like the game, please let me know why you enjoy it so much. Maybe something will click and I'll be like, oh, that's what I'm not getting. And then I can enjoy the game. I can have fun with it. And if you don't like the game, let me know why. Maybe you agree with me. Maybe there's other reasons you don't like it. Just let me know. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. And before you go, I actually have to let you know I have a podcast now. That's right. Checkpoint Corner. I'll leave links down below. It's a video game podcast I do with my best friend and brother. We just talk about all things video games. Whatever comes to mind, we'll talk about it. But yeah, you should come check it out. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye.